embodied feminine power is not about standing above anyone and all about you as a woman claiming your own life, your own decisions, your own energy, your own moves, etc. A lady that I follow, she sent a message today in my email box, and it redirected to an Instagram post that she made. It was a reel, and she started talking about how this world is man built by men, ruled by men. Systems are all done by men. And for a long part, I was like, okay, resonates. And then she said something about us women taking our power back and how men need to serve us. And I was like, sorry, you say what? And there were everybody was like applauding this. And this is coming from, for the people that don't know me yet, I am a single mom since my son was 1 year old. My son is now 7, turning 8 in the summer, and I am a 40-plus-year-old woman. There's a reason I became a single mom when my son was 1. I actually even expressed that, or shared that, I should say, with someone close the other day because he asked me, and it was an intimate setting, and I told her why, and what happened. And it came down to a moment in time where I was standing in our new house and I was serving him while I was, also being there for my 1 year old. And I just looked around me. I'm like, this is not my life. This is not what I wanted to build. And I was really referring to me losing myself in the whole process of just serving him, doing things his way, completely forgetting about my own identity. And in that moment, I was like, you know what, this is not working. And obviously, this is just a part of the story because I'm not going to share details anyhow. But it was a moment in time where I make a decision of this is got to stop. This is ending, and I'm going to take ownership of my life back. Period. So this is coming from that woman, okay? Um, so I understand when people are fed up, and I'm with people, I mean women. So coming from that stance, when that lady shared on her socials, like, well, we are, our feminine energy is the real power, and men need to serve us, and all of that, and seeing all these people saying yes to that, I'm like, no, 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 no. You basically want to do the same thing because now we women should rule over men. Like, don't you see what's wrong in that picture? And I just don't believe in that. I simply don't believe in that because it's like fighting against each other, doing the same thing over and over again in a different way, but it's the same thing, right? It's the same freaking coin. And she asked for what her perspective opened up in us. And so I shared. I said, yes, I agree, this is a life built by men, but we do not need this men versus women stance. I honestly do not believe in that. I feel that this is just an invitation for us women to take our own power back, our own leadership, to make our own decisions, to move with our own energy, and to have our own clear boundaries, to create our own financial stability. Like, I really was thinking, I did not work my ass off at school just to become a mom someday and do nothing with that. I was always financially independent. This is actually how my mom raised me. She said, Ash, always become independent. Don't ever be dependent on a man. And I'm grateful for that. Recently, I got a woman who is now, I think, end 40, like 46-ish. And her oldest just left the nest. Her youngest is almost 18. And she said basically, okay, now this is my time. This is my time to choose me. I have given everything to my family for like almost 25 years. That's how long she was married. And they're still married. And it was so clear to me, like how she basically let go of so many parts of herself. And I'm like, why could you not just be yourself still in all of these new versions? Like, yeah, we do change, but I'm still Ash because I kept her alive. And I kept her alive by already making a decision when my son was 1 year old. Like, this is not going to be my story. Because it's like we never lost that power to say no. We don't live in the age where women were just dependent on a guy, right? We live in the age where we go to school, we are able to go to school, we are able to make our own money. And I said to her, right now is amazing that you choose yourself, but never blame him, because he was blaming him. And I said, it was your choice to do this. End of the day, we need to take ownership and not be in that victimhood. And it starts with that, taking that ownership, taking our own leadership, listening to our own needs, having our own boundaries. back then I did that in the most like difficult time in my life. Just lost my job because they didn't want to invest in Europe anymore. I just bought this huge house. I had a huge renovation. I was stuck with everything, with the mortgage, with all the bills to pay for the renovation. And like I said, I lost my job, right? So I didn't have an income in that moment, just the house that I already rented. And I had a 1 year old, support from anybody. So yeah, I understand the pain of the female, but it's not the movement that I'm leading. The movement I'm leading brings union. The movement that I'm leading brings you back to you, your true power, your true authority, your true sovereignty. And it's you taking ownership of that. And yeah, people fall away. But guess what? It also is the whole way of me seeing that is the reason why his father and I are still good, is why we can raise our son with so much love and respect. I truly believe that that's why Figo has the best dad in the world, like a dad who's present, who knows him inside out. We do co-parenting. If we both eventually decide to move here, like we do what's best for him. If I would have fought him with fire and with anger, I would have destroyed my son's youth. It was never about being right. It was about doing the right thing, being the difference you want to see in the world. And that sacred fire of all the injustice, and I feel it. And I have so many beautiful friends that go through their own things with, their partners and all of that. So you see it in a small scale, you see it in an intimate scale, you see it in a larger scale. I know it. But we have that power of woman to lead us all back to union, to love, to nurturing, to connection. And we don't do that by doing exactly the same thing over and thinking that we are above someone else. But we are leading it with our true loving power of making a whole. And if anything, that's what I'm here to show. At the same time, and I'm trying to get these tears out, I'm raising a son, guys. I'm raising a beautiful boy who becomes a man someday. And I said this in another episode in the past too. How could I let him be hated by women? Because he's a man. It's not us against them. And yeah, this stance is huge for me because that inner leadership that I found brought me so much wholeness and completeness that no man outside could have ever filled in me, because it was my job to fill. Let's start with that, filling ourselves, our own cup, having our own boundaries. My boundaries are not just against men. I even had it just today, like demonstrated today. So when I worked with in the past, we met each other in a business course that we did, and we became business buddies. And eventually that drifted off. And the other day she reached out to me and she wanted my help. And a part of me was like, yes, of course, because I always want to help people. But when it came down to, and that was just the day after, and I had a nice sleepover, but when it came down to actually setting that date to have a call with her, I'm like, no, it doesn't feel right, because guess what? I am somewhere else. And right now, that means that she would just actually have to pay for my service because the dynamic changed. We're not being business buddies anymore. And I was really straightforward to her about that. And that boundary, she understood because it was very clear. The true movement is this: I'm here to empower women, but not over the backs of men. And I let everybody just be who they are. Like Figo's father, I completely understand why we fell in love. I completely understand why we had to separate, and all is good. I respect him, and I will always be respectful to him. So when you shift, it doesn't mean that they stay, it doesn't mean that they change. It means that you become more true to who you are, and then the right people show up. And honestly, last Tuesday, I was in this room with beautiful women. We were calling in this beautiful new year, the horse year, the fire horse year, and we had a little cacao moment. And I looked around me and I'm like, wow, what a beautiful life. The host, I even sent her a voice note because I truly felt in my heart how amazing it is that I have people like her in my life. And that that is not something that I seeked. It was something that I called into my life by becoming the embodiment, by choosing my own leadership, by taking ownership, by not pointing fingers and looking within. We all want to fight the wars out there. We all want to have change, but we always forget to do it in our own lives, in our own intimacy. And we still want to be victims and we still want to blame. And I'm like, no, not me. I'm not going to do that. And if that resonates, you know where to find me, or keep watching and let yourself be inspired. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a beautiful weekend. Bye.